Welcome back, boys and girls. Let's spin on into our Saxon phonics lesson. Welcome back, boys and girls. Today we're going to continue talking about suffixes and learn about a brand new suffix. Look at these words as I write them on the board. Asked, filled, misted. What do you notice at the end of each of these words? Asked, filled, misted. At the end of each of these words is suffix ed. Is suffix ed a vowel suffix or a consonant suffix? Suffix ed is a vowel suffix because it begins with a vowel. How do we code suffixes? We box them in. After we box a suffix, we make sure that there is a root word. Let's read our root words. We have ask, fill, mist. What do you think suffix ed means? Suffix ed means that something has already happened. There is something unusual about suffix ed. Listen to these words and listen for the sound in the final position. Asked, asked. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? Asked. We hear a t sound at the end of this word. Let's listen to the next word. Filled, filled. What sound do you hear in the final position? Filled. We hear a d sound at the end of this word. Let's listen to the last word. Misted, misted. What sound do we hear at the end of this word? Misted. We hear an ed sound at the end of this word. How many sounds does suffix ed make? It makes 3 sounds. Suffix ed is unusual because it can make 3 sounds. T, d, and ed. Since suffix ed makes 3 sounds, there's a rule to help us know when to use each sound. Suffix ed says t after an unvoiced letter. Suffix ed says d after a voiced letter. And suffix ed says ed when it follows the letter T or D. Let's look at these words. Mist, tanned, sanded. How many syllables are in the word mist? Let's clap it out together. Mist. There is only 1 syllable in that word. Let's look at the word tanned. How many syllables are in the word tanned? Let's clap it out together. Tanned. There's just 1 syllable in the word tanned. Now, let's try the word sanded. Sanded. Let's clap it out together. Sanded. There are 2 syllables in that word. A syllable is a part of a word that has its own vowel sound. When suffix ed makes the d or t sound, it doesn't have a vowel sound, so it doesn't add a syllable. When suffix ed makes the ed sound, it adds a vowel sound, and this adds a syllable to the word. Let's try this. I have the word lift. If I add suffix ing to the word lift, now I have the word lifting. How many syllables are in the word lifting? Let's clap it out together. Lifting. There are 2 syllables in this word. But now, if I add suffix est to lift, I have the word lifts. Let's see how many syllables are in the word lifts. Lifts. There is 1 syllable in this word. Suffix s doesn't have its own vowel sound, so it doesn't add a syllable. Now let's add suffix ed to lift, and we have lifted. Let's clap and see how many syllables are in the word lifted. Lifted. There are 2 syllables in this word. When we add suffix ed to a word that ends with d or t, the suffix says ed. Since ed has its own vowel sound, it adds a syllable. Let's practice coding some words that follow the rule we were just talking about with suffix ed. Let's look at our first word. The first thing we need to do is we need to box in our suffix. Then I can code my root word. Do you see a vowel? Yes, we do. Is it followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. A vowel followed by a consonant is coded with a breve. Now, let me look at my rule for suffix ed. Suffix ed says t after an unvoiced letter. I see the letter K is before suffix ed. K is an unvoiced sound, so that means that this suffix ed is going to make the t sound. This is the word asked. How many syllables are in the word asked? Let's clap it out together. Asked. There is 1 syllable in this word. I can use this word to say, I asked a question in class. Let's look at another word. We need to box in our suffix, and now we can code our root word. Do you see a vowel? Yes, we do. Is it followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. A vowel followed by a consonant is coded with a breve and makes a short sound. I see that it's not just one consonant after this vowel, it's double consonants. So I need to cross out the last one to remind myself not to read it. Let me look at my rules for suffix ed. I see that suffix ed says d after a voiced letter. L makes a voiced sound, ol. So that means that this suffix ed is going to go d. And this is the word filled. How many syllables are in the word filled? Let's clap it out together. Filled. There is just one syllable in this word. I can use this word to say, I filled my shopping cart with groceries. Let's take a look at another word. We need to box in our suffix. And now we can code our root word. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? A vowel followed by a consonant is short and is coded with a breve. Does this word need any other coding? No, it does not. Now let's look at our rule for suffix ed to see what sound it makes. Suffix ed says ed when it follows the letters T or D. I see the letter T right before suffix ed, so that means this suffix ed says ed. And it's going to add an extra syllable to my word because it has a vowel sound. Let's clap it out to make sure. This is the word misted. Let's clap it together. Misted. And yes, it has two syllables. When suffix ed says ed, it adds a vowel sound to the word. It also adds an extra syllable to the word. That means we need to put an accent mark. The accent mark is going to stay with our root word. Misted. I can use this word to say I misted my hair with hairspray yesterday. Let's look at another one. Mist. Mist. Let's go ahead and let's box in our suffix. Now we can code our root word. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? A vowel followed by a consonant is short and coded with a breve. I see that this vowel is not just followed by one consonant, but by double consonants. So I'm going to cross out the last consonant to remind myself not to read it. It's going to be silent. Now, let's see what sound suffix ed is going to make this time. Suffix ed says t after an unvoiced letter. The letter S makes the sound S, which is unvoiced. So that means suffix ed is going to say t. And this is the word mist. How many syllables are in this word? Let's clap it out. Mist. There is just one syllable in this word. And I can use this word to say, yesterday I missed my mom when I was at school. Let's look at another word. We need to box in our suffix ed. Now we can code our root word. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. And again, it's followed by double consonants. But we'll take care of that after we're done with our vowel. A vowel followed by a consonant is short, and we code it with a breve. Now, since we have double consonants, we're going to cross out our last one to remind ourselves that it is silent. Now, let's see what sound suffix ed is going to make. Suffix ed says d after a voiced letter. The letter N comes right before suffix ed, and it makes the n sound, and that is a voiced sound. So this time suffix ed is going to say d. And this is the word tanned. How many syllables are in this word? Let's clap it out. Tanned. There is just one syllable in this word. And I can use this word to say, I got a little tanned yesterday in the sun. Let's look at one last word. Let's box in our suffix, and now we can code our root word. Let's look for the vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. A vowel followed by a consonant is coded with a breve and makes a short sound. Does this word need any other coding? No, it's fine for now. Let's look at our suffix ed rule. Suffix ed says ed when it's followed by the letter T or D. I see the letter D before suffix ed, so that means that this suffix ed is going to say ed. This is the word sanded. Let's clap and see how many syllables are in this word. Sanded. There are 2 syllables in this word. Suffix ed, when it makes the ed sound, adds an extra vowel sound to a word and adds an extra syllable to that word as well. So now we need to add an accent mark, and the accent mark will stay with the root word. I can use this word to say, I sanded the table last week. Now, we talked about this before. Let's look at the rule. Does ed add a syllable to words? Ed will add a syllable if the ed makes a vowel sound. So as we saw in the words misted and sanded, suffix ed added a vowel sound to the word and added an extra syllable to the word. And so we needed to put an accent mark on our root word. So today we've been learning about suffix ed. So when we see this card, we're going to say suffix ed. We also have some new sight words for today. Does and goes. Remember, sight words are words that we need to memorize. So when we see them in our reading or in one of our papers, we're going to circle them because they are words that we know, words that we have memorized. Good job, boys and girls. Let's now practice coding some words. Let's look at the words that are up on my board. Let's look at our first word. I see suffix ed at the end of the word. Now let's code our root word. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. A vowel followed by a consonant is coded with a breve and makes a short sound. Let's look at the beginning of the word. Is there something that needs to be coded there? Yes, there is digraph TH. So let's draw a line under it. Is there anything else we need to do? No, I think it looks pretty good for now. Let's double check what sound suffix ed will make with this word. Suffix ed says t after an unvoiced letter. K comes right before suffix ed in this word. K is an unvoiced sound. So that means suffix ed is going to say t. Let's go ahead and let's sound out this word. Don't forget digraph th at the beginning of the word, and suffix ed is going to say t at the end of the word. Thanked. Let's go ahead and let's read it again. Thanked. And one more time, let's blend it together. Thanked. Thanked. I thanked everyone for coming to my party last week. Thanked. Let's see how many syllables are in the word thanked. Let's clap it out together. Thanked. There is just one syllable in this word. So, just like we thought, suffix ed is not adding an extra vowel sound, and it is not adding an extra syllable to this word. So we do not need to put an accent mark on the root word. Let's look at our next word. Let's box in suffix ed, and now let's code our root word. Do you see a vowel? Yes, we do. Is it followed by a consonant? Yes, in fact, it's followed by a consonant digraph, but we'll take care of that after we finish with our vowel. A vowel followed by a consonant is short and is coded with a breve. Let's look at the beginning of the word. Is there something that needs to be coded there? Yes, I need to put a K back on the letter C to remind myself that it makes the K sound. Now I can go ahead and underline digraph NG. What sound is suffix ed going to make this time? I see suffix ed says d after a voiced letter. I see right before suffix ed, I have the letter G. It makes the G sound. That is a voiced sound. So that means that suffix ed is going to say d this time. We're going to sound out this word. Watch out for the CL blend at the beginning of this word. Don't forget about digraph ng going ng in the middle, and suffix ed is going to go d. We have lots to remember with this word. Let's go slowly at first. Clanged. Let's do it again, a little faster. Clanged. And one more time, a little faster. Clanged. The dishes clanged together in the sink. Now, let's check and make sure we're right about our suffix ed. And make sure we do not need to add an accent mark. How many syllables are in the word clanged? Let's clap it out together. Clanged. There is just one syllable in this word. So that means with this word, suffix ed does not have an extra vowel sound, and it is not adding an extra syllable. So we do not need an accent mark after the root word. Let's look at our last word. Let's box in our suffix ed. Now let's code our root word. Look for the vowel. Is it followed by a consonant? A vowel followed by a consonant is short and is coded with a breve. Is there anything else we need to code with this word? No, this word looks fine for now. Let's look at our suffix ed rule. Suffix ed says ed when it follows the letter T or D. I see the letter T is right before suffix ed, so that means this suffix ed is going to say ed. Let's sound out this word together, and don't forget suffix ed is going to go ed. Here we go. Inted. Let's read it again a little faster. Inted. And one more time a little faster. Hinted. Hinted. I hinted where you could find your sunglasses. Now, since suffix ed in this word says ed, it has an extra vowel. Does that mean that it has two syllables in this word? Let's clap it out. Hinted. Yes, there's two syllables in this word, so I need to add an accent mark to my root word. Let's take a look at the phrase up on the board. Let's go ahead and let's code the first word. I see suffix ing at the end of the first word. Suffix ing adds an extra vowel sound to a word. It also adds an extra syllable to a word. So that means I need an accent mark after my root word. Now let's go ahead and let's code our root word. I only want to look at those two letters that are my root word. My suffix has been boxed away. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? No, it is not. The suffix has been boxed away, so there is nothing after the vowel. An open, accented vowel is long, and we code it with a macron. Let's look at the next word. Let's look for our vowel. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? Yes, it is. In fact, it's followed by a consonant digraph. A vowel followed by a consonant is short, and we code it with a breve. Now, let's go ahead and let's code our consonant digraph. We have digraph CK. Digraph CK only makes one K sound. So I need to draw a line through the letter C to remind myself that it is silent. Now this is just a phrase. I can add words to my phrase to make it a complete sentence. This phrase says, going back. What could I add to make this phrase into a complete sentence? I could say, I am going back to school tomorrow, period. Let's read our complete sentence together. I am going back to school tomorrow. Good job, boys and girls. Don't forget, keep an eye out for suffix ed and try to figure out which of the three sounds it's making in the word that you're reading. It'll make you a better reader and a better writer and help you to understand what it is that you are reading. See you later.